I'm Trudy Kerr, and welcome to The Interviewer. In this series, I talk to artists, campaigners, men and women of influence, musicians, performers, sportsmen and women, politicians, businessmen and women, and anyone who shapes the fabric of our society. My guest today is a DJ, a devoted boyfriend, a proud dog owner, and a bit of a philosopher on social media. But as I scrolled through Instagram, Alvin Galea's post stopped me dead. So the clip says that ADHD is an upgrade, giving you an untapped amount of energy to be able to focus on multiple projects at any one time. But it also means that there is a hypersensitivity to boredom. And that doesn't mean that you can't concentrate on things for a long time. It means that you have trouble concentrating on things you're not interested in. And the subsequent post spoke to exactly how I would respond to ADHD. It's just a thing that everybody has these days. And the narrative states that it really is a biological condition, and that only 4.5% of those who are affected are diagnosed, and that you can't grow out of ADHD. It is about how you are wired. Bearing in mind how unaware of ADHD I was, and how I might have been ready just to write off this condition as someone who is naughty or had too much sugar, I contacted Alvin to find out why he had posted this on his newsfeed. And his answer is the reason that he is with me today. Alvin, thank you so much for being with me on The Interviewer.
Thanks for having me.
You're so welcome.
Thank you.
You blew me away when I said, why did you make this post? Because I kind of had this feeling, and we're going to talk about this in a second. But before we do that, I want to find out a little bit about you, because you have been a DJ.
Yeah.
At the moment, you're doing other things. You've been a radio DJ. You've been a DJ, club DJ. What have you done? What are you doing?
Basically, what have I done? Thanks to God, I did everything I would have put my targets on my career. I wanted to play in the biggest parties and the biggest events, all the clubs, and I managed to do so. So I'm really happy with that. I did productions, signed with record labels and everything. It was a really nice ride, a nice career. Even I met a lot of world's best DJs, because obviously you share moments with them, like or warm up or play after them, or meet them in the VIP straight after. So obviously that was a blessing. Radio wise as well, as you know, XFM, and I started from DJ's radio, then XFM, then on to Vibe FM. So yeah, it was I think 27-year career at the age of almost legal, playing at one of the best clubs in Malta, Access at that time.
Yeah.
I was 15.
Wow.
Yeah. And then straight after Access opened all doors, because it was like Malta's #1 club. So a lot of promoters saw me there, a lot of DJs. So it opened doors, and then I started going, and it happened.
So what are you doing now?
Now, I'm not going to say that I don't miss DJing or I hate DJing or I had to stop. I just felt like, how shall I put this in the most respectful way? Like, you don't grow out of it. You just feel it's enough. It's like a football player, It's like some people can DJ till they have 70. It's okay, but I just felt that way, I just felt like it was enough. But on the other hand, I still have some events going on, so people will keep on seeing me at the club, but not at every Friday, every Saturday, every Sunday, like every 3 months, once every 3 months, for example. That's enough. So that's basically it. And now I'm more into my job as well as a project manager, construction, So it's totally different things. Obviously, there's boom, 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 boom as well. There's the beat
of course.
going on.
You're not missing the sound.
There's a beat going on as well. But that's basically it. Yeah.
Fantastic. So this is a huge change in your life. We're going to go to this post, because when I saw the post, I was really humbled by the fact that there was an explanation for ADHD. And I grew up in the 70s. I would have been one of those kids that went, that's the naughty kid.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
never and recognized that there was such a condition. And then as you grow older, you're just like, yeah, everybody wants to be diagnosed with ADHD and so on.
I get that every weekend.
But when I spoke to you a week ago, you answered me by telling me that you had been diagnosed in the past 6 months as having ADHD, which blew my mind. How old are you, Alvin?
I'm 37, going on 38 next August.
So before we talk about your story, explain to me what is ADHD. Explain to me in a way that you understand it.
Well, from the research that I did, ADHD, it's you can't just say you have ADHD. ADHD, there's a list of symptoms that you have to have at least an amount of them, and everyone is different. For example, I can't sleep with the lights off and no sound. I can't. If I switch off the light and I switch off my TV, I will listen to like many voices going on. Even at the moment, I'm listening to voices at the moment while I'm speaking to you. In fact, one of the medications is that you focus more on the thing you are thinking of or seeing, not what did I do. For example, while I'm speaking now, I am remembering I have to send some emails later on, what I did during the day, some pictures I took with my mobile about some construction sites I did while I'm speaking to you and focusing on what I'm saying. So it's quite complicated. It's really complicated. But then there's several different aspects. Like there's people going like this, hyperactive. But it's not only hyperactive. There's something about your focus. And the worst thing is, if you don't like or you don't have interest in a subject, it's for nothing, not even if you have if you take medication. You can't. You literally can't. You start doing stupid things. For example, I'm getting married in two months. And I have nothing against the church, obviously, because it's something nice and whatever. And they do this course called Takana. It's like 6 months before the wedding. And for me, 2 hours is too much. And the first hour is nice. You meet up other couples, and this elder couple tells you what you have to do in marriage, good things. You have to show her respect, and both of you have to cook, and both of you do the laundry, and whatever. Not nice things, socializing, you know. After the first hour, I start wearing my mask like here and going like this and like this, and my girlfriend, stop it. And you couldn't handle it. You couldn't handle it, because then it becomes boring and I can't control myself. I imagine the mask, you wearing the mask here. I start putting it here, and you become like a 5-year-old kid, and you can't handle it anymore. Because I'm bored now.
But this is...
So it's complicated. It's really vast. It's you can't say, listen, I have that because then I have ADHD. No.
ADHD stands for what?
ADHD is the hyperactivity, but then the focus. If you lose focus, but that's why it's not ADD anymore. It's ADHD. There's
which stands
4
for
different words. Hyperactive disorder, something.
Attention deficit
like
hyperactive disorder.
For example, I'm not interested in what stands those words, so I literally don't know, and I'm just more focused on what are the symptoms instead of what the word is saying. For example, let me tell you a small thing. So for example, you come up to me and say, Alvin, listen, what are you going to cook for dinner tonight? And I'm going to tell you, listen, I'm going to do a very good plate of pasta. And you tell me, listen, I'm gluten-free. And I want to check if it's gluten or free or not, the packet, whatever, that I bought. I don't know how to read from beginning to finish. No. I have to go around, first find the word gluten, and then I read what's around it. I don't know how to read from top to bottom. My body, my brain doesn't let me.
Okay.
I know how to read, obviously.
But seriously blowing my mind.
And my mind has blown off
no,
for 37 years.
It's been incredible, but Listen, the post talked about somebody who's affected by ADHD having their brain wired differently, and that's exactly what you're describing.
It's wired totally different.
When you were younger, you've only been diagnosed 6 months ago. When you were younger, did you feel like you were wired differently to your friends and classmates?
Yes. But now I couldn't handle it anymore, and I had to speak with someone because.
But what was that like as a child?
As a child, it was like a balance between failure and success because I remember my mom telling me this. For example, if my mom tells me you have to study or read, and then I will buy you, for example, that beautiful bicycle. In fact, I remember at the age of, I think, really, I already started reading and speaking perfect English. And I remember my father telling me that when we went the first time with the bike, it has like 2 small wheels. I remember on the first go, he removed one, then he pushed me, I went around, and then he made like sort of a bet with my mom that he's going to remove the second one just after an hour, and I managed to ride it with no practice, nothing. But because my mind said, listen, I want it, I want the bicycle, I was looking forward for it. So you will be successful in many things, and it's not normal things. God, these are not normal. But if you really want it. But if you don't want it, I was a mess when it comes to exams. I was a mess when it comes to subjects like, for example, maths. I was so good in maths. As soon as algebra came along, and my brain told me, listen, algebra, you don't need it in life. A over z squared plus x over b. That's it. Maths, I used to get 15 out of 100.
You don't own that one. I'm sorry, but I don't have ADHD, I don't think, and I was exactly the same. I'm like, who gives a crap about algebra?
You know what I mean? So at that moment that my brain says, listen, you don't need this. This is BS. That's it. I can't. I literally can't. I can't focus, nothing, because for me it's a waste of time. That's it. It's irrelevant.
So that you mentioned that you got really bad grades in algebra, but was your school progress, was your time at school and your education and social interaction, was that affected negatively or positively?
In fact, O-levels, all I have, like, I think 3 or 4, something like that. But at the age of, for example, at the age of 15, for example, my mom owned a piece of, like, Luna Park in Splash and Fun. And we had this game. There was the monkey ladder. It was a ladder made from rope, and you have to go up and press the buzzer, and you get a soft toy. And I used to go every Sunday there, from morning till the evening. She used to give me like 5 Maltese liri, just pocket money. And I came up with the idea that, listen, we can't get more clients if no one is capable of doing this. And I started practicing, and I started going and catch the buzzer. It turned out that this area, this sort of ride, came the record-breaking in sales because every time people used to get fed up and say, listen, this is a scam, I used to, no, it's not. Press the buzzer, and all of them like, oh, let's try it again. So I always find ways to be successful, but not with grades. Like to be sociable, like talk your way out of it. Advertising, I used to be good as a salesman. As long as I believed in the product, I used to sell as many things as I could. So you will be successful, you will move forward, but as long as you show interest in it.
Was there anything about your experience as a child with ADHD that drew you towards being a DJ? Is there any correlation between that? It's just completely separate. You just wanted to be a DJ.
No, and there was this something which was really strange that I didn't know I could split like 3 tracks in my mind. For example, if you play 3 different songs now, I can literally split them in my mind. I can literally sing to one of them and do like this with the beat of the other one, although they are offbeat. And it's something that I realized I couldn't realize because I didn't know. But the first time I like put my hands on a turntable, like the needle went like this. I didn't know nothing, not even a mixer. And after a few weeks, I managed to make the test, and I turned out to be one of the youngest DJ ever, and going into X's. And as a technique, even my brothers and my cousins used to tell me, listen, as a technique, you're good, man, you're good. And I felt like it was extra easy, like it wasn't. For example, in productions, my brother was better because I couldn't stand in front of the computer like Luke is doing, listening to the same sound until I get a bling, bling, bling. I used to break a monitor or something. I used to go nuts. But in technical, like mixing and stuff, it came naturally. And now that I know the condition I have, let's say it's a condition, because I don't really care. I don't really say it's a condition. Now it feels like a closure. It helped me along the way, like splitting 3 tracks.
But this is exactly what this post said, which grabbed my attention.
That's why I knew I have ADHD, because of these videos, because I said, that's why then.
Okay, so you saw these videos, you identified with these videos. How did you then go about getting diagnosed? You're 37 years old and suddenly you get diagnosed. What was the process there?
So in summer, I really love going out with the boat or with the jet ski, whatever. That's the only thing. For example, I don't know how to relax. The word relax for me doesn't exist. But the only relaxing thing that I just realized that works, when I start my engine, I go out like planing from there, and I listen to the shh going like this. I find myself like relaxed, like with the sea, with that fresh air going. Like it's nice. It's a feeling that I like normal people go next to the pool on a deck chair and have, which I never had. I realized that, for example, listen, guys, let's get some beers. Let's go to Adira Bay, and we go to Adira Bay. As soon as I turn off the engine, the back of my mind, I start like, what time shall we start the engines again and go to Comino now? And then after like 45 minutes, listen, guys, I think Comino is good. Let's go there. And we go there. And after there, listen, you want to go have lunch and go. So I said, why can't I can't really like relax in something that I'm doing at the moment? There's something strange, and I couldn't handle it anymore. I couldn't understand it. And then I spoke to one of my best friends, Edward from G7, that I used to DJ for years with him. And he told me, obviously I have ADHD. I told him, Edward, so why? He told me, you're my friend, I can't like diagnose you, you know. Listen, I'll give you this number of this guy. And I went there. I started speaking with him about what I have and what I do. And as soon as I started going like this, and I said, yeah, obviously I have ADHD. Yeah, like big time.
And it never occurred to you before your friend told you?
Because that's why I'm trying. Because I've been there, done that. I wish that, not for me, well, I'm sorted, man. I don't care. But I wish that, for example, kids, man, that have like, why at school, here is the school I used to attend, in primary school in Leah. Why we don't put a class with instruments, with music? Why don't we put a class with working with wood? Like electricity, like bulbs, like how the green energy works. Like, for example, me, I never watch a movie. Like, I prefer going on YouTube and watching mega structures on how they build cranes.
But in fairness, if that isn't what's happening now, that was my childhood. We had music lessons. We had craft design technology where we did woodwork. No.
That's the problem. That's the problem. Malta, I have maths, English, Maltese, and religion, and maybe social studies and geography. And that's it. I know that maths is... For example, I heard a podcast of Gary Vee, and he said, we have the commodities, like who was the president of America, and of the United States, blah, 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 blah. And Siri just answers you at that moment. So why waste the time knowing all the presidents in America while you can study green energy? So we combat climate change, for example.
Can I vote for you for Prime Minister? Because it's making a real sense.
But it's real sense. Like you have 8 hours a day, and you're wasting your sourceful. You know what I mean? Like there's a problem with climate change. Why you study algebra? You know what I mean?
No one should study algebra.
You know what I mean?
I do know what you mean. Listen, you talked about the statistics there. I'm going to come to a survey in the US, and let's imagine that the world is a globe and that perhaps the same applies to other countries. But in a 2022 survey in the US, it stated that 2.4% of children aged 2 to 5 and 9.6% of children aged 6 to 11 have been diagnosed with ADHD, with 4.4% of the adult population affected by ADHD, and with 1 in 4 of those never having received treatment. Now, let's look at that. You're talking about this age group. You're talking about why are we not studying I mean, I'm so with you.
I just got
no. I'm way behind you, voting you as Prime Minister.
It could be
because
pilots for flights for.
You're
whatever.
like, why don't we look at green energy instead of algebra? You get my vote, Alvin.
Yeah.
But that's 1 in 10. 1 in 10 children have ADHD. 1 in 10. A class of, let's say, 20 kids. That's 2 kids that have got ADHD that may or may not get diagnosed. And at 4.4% of adults. And the reason they say 4.4 is because diagnosis is now more active in children than it was when you were a child.
The thing is, we're losing. Don't get me wrong. I'm not telling you that I'm a genius. Far from it. But if an ADHD person, you give him the tools to flourish what he really is good at, he can be a genius. And it's a shame because sometimes they say, "Oh, you're lazy. Oh, you're a troublemaker." And
did you get that?
Oh my God! Obviously, I'm still dead. I'm still dead. But thank God, my mom never gave up. My mom knew that I had. For example, she never told me, like, listen, Alvin, you're going to be a failure in your life. Never. She just used to tell me, listen, you make me angry. You're good at everything. But for some reason, you start something and you don't finish it. And that's it. Like, focus more. And it used to drive me angry in a way because it came naturally. I didn't do it on purpose.
Is your mum still with us?
Yes, obviously.
So when you went to her and you told her that you'd been diagnosed with ADHD at 37 years old, did she suddenly say, "Oh my word, well, yes, obviously"?
Yes and not, but she always knew there's something strange about me. For her it wasn't an issue, you know. For her it wasn't an issue. For her it was like,
but did it
that's Alvin. In fact, we own. My father owns a business and everything. And imagine, I went to work for a minimum wage as an electrician. I didn't want the business, you know. Like, no, we had no DJs and no one in the music industry in our family. All businessmen, and they all said, "Oh, DJ music, even my grandpa. The business is important in the family." And I did everything, and she never gave up. And she said, "It's okay, but obviously try to improve." And everything I did was always with for example, if I have 100 euros, I want to spend 120. Not the other way around. Not the other way around. First, pay your bills, and then now, yes. But come on, I'm 37. About time, eh? My brothers used to do that at 21, not at 35 or 32. In fact, till this day, my accounts, or my girlfriend takes care of everything. I'm really good at earning money.
Girlfriend.
I'm really good at earning money, but I'm a disaster. Even the wedding, Gabby's taking care of everything. Because I'm a disaster. I can't. I really can't. I try, but I can't.
I love your humour about it because
Yeah.
you're embracing this, which is so cool, and it's also really liberating for anybody else that's going through the same process that you're going, whether they're 10
The most
years old
important thing,
or
your
30.
partners, they have to support you. It's
Well, I was
difficult.
going to ask, can I touch on that? You get diagnosed, you get somebody who sees you and says, well, yes, obviously you have ADHD. What then? Did you get support? Did you get guidance?
Well, I think Gabby really, really, really loves me. So that's obviously that she loves me because she has patience with me. But a part of the joke. But
But did you get guidance from
no,
medical?
no, nothing. You can't really change yourself. And there's this thing. It's all about your partner because, for example, last accident we had like an accident, like sort of a fight we had. I was on my sofa and there was Netflix going on, and I had like a TikTok video going on, and my neighbor, they started shouting whatever, like fighting maybe, and I did like this. And I was hearing literally everything they're saying while the TikTok video is still rolling. And with my ass,
Did you just say your ass?
yeah.
You can
I
say
press
ass.
on. I can. I pressed on the remote. And I think the volume went down. And Gabby was in the kitchen saying, Alvin, turn up the volume. Alvin, because she was seeing a series. I don't know which one. And I don't know nothing. I didn't even listen to nothing. I honestly didn't hear it. Alvin, like, turn up the bloody volume, you know. And she came up to me like, do like this and that. Are you really serious? I said, what, Gab, what? I honestly didn't even know. And she said, how obviously, because you always taking like notice of your TikToks and... I didn't even realize there's TikTok going on. I was so hyper-focused on one thing that nothing was happening all around. And I admit, it's the real truth. I didn't even know that she was calling me. My mobile is going with TikTok, which I didn't really knew about. TV pressing with volume coming up. Nothing. I was hyper-focused on his voice and her voice, whatever. Nothing else. Nothing else was happening around me. Nothing. And I had to apologize a million times. And say
Does she
sorry.
understand now, though?
Yeah, now she understands, but still it's tough because she has her work as well. She comes home stressed. So if I do this, she will spark as well until she realizes, okay, he has. And sometimes there's that question mark, which every partner will say, like, is he doing this because he knows he has ADHD? Which I admit, it's true. You don't do it on purpose, but it's a question that you realize that people are going to ask, obviously.
Of course.
So it's hard.
That must be simply because people don't understand. Talking to you, listening to you, and that post that blew my mind, suddenly I realized I knew nothing. Knowing your journey and knowing at 37 years old, you've been diagnosed, but you've had this all your life. It's the one thing that post said. You don't grow out of it because it is the way that you're wired. So how do you help kids that are now, or parents who are having troubles with kids because they're bouncing off the walls?
The one actually thing I'm worried about is the medication. The medication, with all respect to the physiologists and whatever they're called, doctors, whatever. I don't think they really know what they're giving us. No, I don't think they really know, because first they gave me a medication which I was sweating a lot, and I still felt a bit of anxiety. I used to focus a bit more, but forgetting a lot of things. Now I have two other different medications, which are like mood stabilizers, which my mood is always normally okay, so I don't know why. So I think there's two. I don't know if it's the best thing is just leave it be, listen, this guy is ADHD, so what? And that's it. Or else, try to fix it or cure it. But on the other hand, if you're saying that my brain is wired in an X design instead of in a Y design,
you're not going to fix
how
it.
are you going to put the X to turn it into a Y?
You're not.
You know what I mean? So I'm not a doctor, I'm a project manager, I only understand in concrete, so I don't know. But my common sense, at least if I have a bit, I think that I would let it be. In fact, I'm thinking of maybe stop in a few months' time with the medications because they're making me even hungrier, eating more. So I really don't know. I really don't know exactly what's... So that's one thing that I'm worried about with the medication. I think they have to do a lot more research on it. I'm not saying it's impossible, but research. And as an academic point of view at school with the kids, even their personal and the personal relationship with their parents, for example. If I didn't have these things, but outbursts like crying, like really sad from inside, like we are really prone to depression. I never had depression, but we're really, really, really prone to depression and anxiety. We are literally the most people that can have depression like this. So the support of the parents when they say, no, don't start shouting them or like, go to your room, you're grounded, because that's literally not good. And you're doing a lot of harm. So that's my, I think, my suggestion to show parents what they have to do, I think. I didn't have those things because my mom, I was really lucky. But sometimes, yes, I did take punishments which I didn't understand. I take them. Like, listen, you're grounded. You can't use your gaming console at that time or the computer. No internet for the weekend or no TV, whatever, no cartoons. And I used to ask myself, why? Like, why? What did I do? Why? And then I looked on on my brothers and said, oh, my brothers, they didn't do that. Maybe I am the bad one. Like. But my brain the next day will forget about it and do it again. You know what I mean? So it's quite complicated. But I think I think that the government should provide counseling, like for parents about it as well. Because let's face it, parents are, if they're not educated, they can't do better. Eh? So I never searched ADHD. I just going around on the TikTok videos and watching things, and there was. Like this guy, 14 symptoms. You diagnose in 60 seconds. Maybe you have ADHD, and they start like going like this. Oh, that's me. Like, where's my key? Ah, that's me. Where's my mobile? Ah, that's me. Going out from the door and then coming after 5 seconds because you forgot to get something. You're talking to people like this, but you're listening nothing. Which just happens to me. If I'm not interested, I'm looking at you, but I really can't hear what you're saying.
I'm really assuming that you are interested in this conversation.
Yes, I am, because obviously we're talking about ADHD. So, and all the symptoms, like from 14, I hit like boom, 12, 11. I said, yeah, I have ADHD.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah. And then I spoke to Edward and said, of course you have ADHD.
This is incredible. Has it changed any of your plans for the future? Knowing this, has it changed you at all?
No, not at all. What it changed was that what I'm good at it, I'm going to enhance it and put more of my energy in it and improve in it, focus more on it. Because I know that if there's something which I love, I can do better than anyone else. Yeah, we're fun people going around, so we have a lot of positive vibes in us. So it's not something you should look at it like that. It's like something positive. Like, yeah, I'm really looking forward for the ADHD Alvin guy, because why not?
Alvin, I want to say a massive, massive thank you for being on this show. Thank you for being open and talking about this.
Yeah, why not? Anytime, if I could help in any way, even parents,
You
whatever. So
already have.
obviously, I'm not a doctor, but I have ADHD. So with what I can help.
A big shout out to your extremely patient and loving
Yes,
girlfriend.
yes,
Soon
yes,
to be
yes.
wife.
Yeah. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
For those willing to change the world one step at a time. For those dreaming of sustainable living. For those striving to find a healthier balance. For those always believing. Browns and Viridian. Love the planet, love yourself.